What is going on, guys? This is Tim here with ALX Garage. Welcome to the first episode here on my YouTube channel. Now guys, this channel is going to be a mix of everything: builds, personal cars, other people's cars, all types of stuff that we're gonna have here on the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are tuning in here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. If there's anything else that I can cover for you guys, please let me know. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go over here, the first episode here, is going to be on my Land Rover LR3. Now this thing I've had for quite some time. This car is a 2008 LR3 HSE 4.4 V8. I picked this thing up for about $4 grand. It's been absolutely amazing. Over 200,000 miles that I have logged myself, about 40,000 of those on here. Regular maintenance. I have done, spark plugs and whatnot. Oil cooler was leaking, a few other things here that we've done to it. Transmission pan was also upgraded to a metal pan. I bought the parts from Lucky 8 Land Rover. I go to them for all my Land Rover parts. They are the go-to Land Rover people. They've got everything that you need there from the other go-to Land Rover places as well. So anything you guys need, hit up Lucky 8 and they will have it. I am not affiliated with them, but I love them so much that I am going to go ahead and give them a shout out. Now guys, what we're going over today is, on my LR3, I had an issue perhaps a year back where my car went into like this limp mode. The flashers came on. The car would unlock constantly. I scoured for information on this, and very little out there on what this issue actually is. There was one thread that I found on a Land Rover forum. I don't have it right now, but I will perhaps post the link in my video as well, down in the description. But that was the one thing that got me a little sniff of what I should be looking for, which was these vehicles have a problem with the instrument cluster. So I went and I tested a few of the little things on the back of the circuit board for the Land Rover here, and I did find something was off. I went ahead and ordered a cluster off eBay. Now the problem with this cluster, if you guys take a look here, this is from a 2006. I recently went to smog my vehicle and could not pass smog. The reason being was that the check engine light would not come on. Circuit boards are different, so let me go ahead and show this to you guys. This might be useful to a few people out there. So on these, the check engine light, I don't know if you guys will be able to pick that up, but is on this side, is on the RPM side of the circuit board. Well, say the instrument control module is going to bring up the parking light as the check engine light. You will not be able to pass the smog like that. So what I did was I dug up my old cluster. I kept it because, I like to hoard parts. Unfortunately, if you guys are looking, those are all parts from another build that I have going on. So if you guys look, the check engine light on the 08 is on the parking brake side on this side. So if you guys look at that. So that being the case, what I did, remove the instrument cluster. Super simple. You pop off one bar on this side, you pop off the other bar on that side, you take off this piece of plastic that has like this telescoping shield on it. This lower bezel piece comes off as well, and you just pry that off. There's no screws or anything like that on there. And then there's two screws that will be holding the cluster in, one here and one on the other side on the same spot, just right below there, if you guys can see that. Pull it out, and it's got like an anchor on it. Forgive this harness, I did have to repair one wire about a year ago that kind of just got worn out, but it's got like, one of these anchor styles, so you pull it back and you'll push it forward, it'll lock into place, essentially. So what I did was I pulled my old cluster out, I popped off the face. Now there is no real trick to this or anything like that. You guys might think there's pins or something. These needles, they just come out with a little bit of pressure. That's it. So you're just gonna pry on them. Do use a plastic pry tool. I got these from Harbor Freight for a couple bucks. Use a plastic pry tool and pry that off, and take off this board here, and then we are going to switch it on to the 2006 cluster. So this is a 2008 face on a 2006 cluster. Everything seems to be the same. It seems to fit just the same, and we'll have all the functions back the way that we had it. Whereas before, the headlights and a few of these other things are just a bit different. I mean, you guys can see some of the differences between the two clusters. When I fire this thing up and I have my headlights on, this is like some type of suspension warning that comes on instead of the actual headlight stuff coming on. Again, the parking brake coming on instead of the actual check engine light coming on as the check engine light. So there's a few things there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that swapped out, and then I'll get back with you guys in a second. What is going on, everybody? I am back again today. It is the next day. I did not get a chance to record yet. I actually ran into a bit of a hiccup. Now, what I noticed is that there are little tension spots, and I'll go ahead and point that out to you and kind of show you a bit of what I'm saying here. So on the Land Rover cluster, the needles will just kind of lay here. You see how that one kind of lays dead? It's in this like kind of dead zone. So the reason for that is there's these little spots that are kind of like tension spots that the needles will rest on so that they can stay in that position. Well, unfortunately, I did not set those tension spots correctly when I initially put the cluster in, because it's not something that I was aware of, nothing that I've ran into just yet. So I have taken the cluster back out already. I went ahead and set everything up. I drove it this morning, and everything is working fine. I'm gonna show you guys in the vehicle that everything's working the way that it should be. No lights or anything funny like that. I'll get up with you guys in just a second. All right, everybody, it's the moment of truth. Let's get this thing fired up and see what it's looking like. Check engine light back in the right spot. Again, this is the 2006 cluster with 2008 bezel face, whatever you want to call it. And everything's working the way that it should. Fires right up. Everything goes away. Headlights, the auto lights, all that stuff works. So everything is working just the way that it should. All right, so I figured that I would make another quick video just showing the RPM and miles per hour, that those are working just fine. No hiccups just yet. I did fill the tank up just to make sure that that's accurate. These things do not get anything for range, but it is accurate. Everything's accurate. Everything's working. I do actually have a gap tool for this, a gap IAD tool. Very important and crucial thing if you have an LR3 and you plan to retain the air suspension. That's kind of the most important part. If you plan to retain the air suspension, get the gap IAD tool. You definitely need it. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But everything is working smoothly, just as it should. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I will see you guys in the next one.